Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Cast. I am Eki with Resin on production. We are here tonight with the grand finals of the Newbie Cup between team number 1 versus insert cheesy bread. Team number 1, your scouts are going to be Beaches and Goddess of the Odd. Your soldiers will be Taro and Sneakiest Gnome 7. Powerful name. Your demo will be King Rat, and you know what? I gotta concede the powerful name title and send it to the demo. And your beam will be Cheese Stick. Those are your rosters for team number 1. Your rosters for insert cheesy bread. Your scouts are going to be 8-Bit and Vertigo. Your soldiers will be Chunchi and Haas. Or Has? Maybe it's a little weird, but I'm thinking Haas here. Your demo will be Chinese Dave. Your med will be Holden. And the maps for tonight, I have to go back to my fancy little thread to see what the maps are. 1 second. What are the maps? Where are they at? I can't find them because I'm blind. Well, I know we're starting off on Process. I know that much for a fact. We're going to Process for the first map. And I think I'm about to get the map information here very soon. But we're going Process. First map of the series. It's a best of 3. Process Sunshine Gully. So not a single bit of Koth in this best of 3. This is gonna be interesting because Process is a map that these teams, especially in the grand final, they should know like the back of their hand. It should be something that they're extremely familiar with. It should be something that they just know. I mean, obviously you don't expect them to be perfect on it, but you know that they should probably understand pretty well how the map plays, understand the dynamics. I mean, this is the map that every coach, every mentor starts you off on or explains new concepts on, unless it just doesn't apply to Process. But I mean, everything pretty much applies to Process, basically. But after many minutes of me figuring out why my game doesn't want to work. It wasn't the game not working. It was me not working. These guys should be able to get this show on the road very soon, and we'll be able to get the grand finals underway again. Team number 1 and insert cheesy bread. I don't know if we can get a prediction up before the game starts. I assume that we still have a little bit of time left before these guys actually hit the rut button. I can't blame them. They've been waiting a little while. They've been waiting a little bit. But we are going to get predictions up and running for whoever you think is going to win this matchup here. This is the first map. We're doing Process. Then we'll be going to Sunshine. And then if it comes down to it, the third map, which I would hope that it would go to a third map. If it goes down to it, you will be seeing Gubby Wash. We saw a little bit of Gully Wash last night. We saw actually a 3-map series last night. So definitely hoping that the 3-map series streak continues on. Like I said, especially in the grand final, that's where you expect, the most fierce of competition. And obviously both teams have earned their spot in the grand finals. I expect no less than excellence from both of them. And I think that's exactly what we're going to be getting. But predictions are live, so if you want to gamble some of your channel points, go ahead and throw those out there and see what you can get out of your bet. We close them after the first mid. The players have been told they can ready up whenever, so at this point, it's on them. Get it twisted. You will win if you gamble. And if you don't, it's not my fault. I didn't tell you to place your channel points, even though I did. But circling back to a map like Process, like I said earlier, it's a map that everybody kind of just knows. I mean, it is the Sixes map. The only map that I think would have as much, be thought of as much as the Sixes map of, well, Sixes would be Sunshine. Because a lot of people, myself included, call Sunshine Process but better, because it is. But Process is just kind of an all-round map. It covers all the bases. It's got decent flank routes. It's got an engaging mid. You can do double bombs. You can do rotates. You can do centers. You can do literally every mid type on this mid, basically. Every mid type for a 5CP, except for, like, just sitting there doing nothing, like you can kind of get away with on Gully. Not for very long. You'll get nuked instantaneously. But with Gully Wash, it does kind of devolve if neither team does anything for a little while, just kind of a spam battle over the point. But I believe we're going live here in about a minute. 1 minute, 60 entire seconds until the first game of the grand finals goes live. And I'm feeling pretty excited about it. I don't really know anything about these teams. I don't even know who their coach is. It's not listed on our roster sheet, I don't think. I'm going to verify that. I'm going to verify that there's no coaches here. Because if I skipped over it, I'm going to feel bad. No, there's no coaches listed on here. But hey, if anybody knows who the coaches of these teams are, feel free to let me know. Feel free to hit me up with that information into Twitch chat. But we did get rup baited just a second ago. But I assume we'll actually be going live. Oh, there we go. Right as I say that. As we go live to the first round of the playoffs. Things are sure to be exciting here. And I am pretty hyped to see what's going on. King Rat up to the mid pretty quickly. Chinese Dave getting over to the health pack. Just a little bit of spam getting triggered over top of the point here. High bomb coming in from the side of Chun. She tries to get in the choke, but the beam cheese stick will be able to back away in time. Gnome and King Rat do fall to Haas. However, they get a 2K, and now it's a 3-for-3 deal. 2 soldiers have fallen, but the beam is down for the side of Cheesy Bread. Holden is no more, so they've got to try and get in on the cheese stick and get themselves a salvage, but they're not quite able to. No good damage coming the way of Cheese Stick, and they will maintain full Uber ad on this mid. Potentially rolling into second for free. Actually, it's not even potentially. This just is rolling into second for free. We do have Haas inside of Red Sewer waiting for a potential flank window. Just have to hope they don't get impatient if you are a Cheesy Bread fan. But team number 1 so far living up to the name, demonstrating their abilities. That's team number 1. The good spam coming through the choke from Haas, but the immediate collapse from the rest of the team. They get mulched. And that will be second one for free. Now we transition to the last 30 Uber ad, the side of team number 1. They're not really, I don't think this is really actionable. It's dwindling down to, never mind, they're going to take this. They're ripping the Uber from the left side. Spam up into heaven. Good damage going in toward Holden. 60% Uber, but that is now online. No cap time to speak of yet. No stick, he's cleared off the point. They Uber through heaven, coming out the right side from the defender's perspective. King Rat and Gnome both fall. Nobody hiding in the nest or heaven, and that is a successful last hold. They only lose Vertigo, the Pudis, in this hold, and they should be able to get out onto 2 relatively soon. There shouldn't be any real defense mounted from team number 1 since they have lost so many players. Now, Cheesy Bread in the driver's seat. Looking to get through that choke sooner rather than later, they would hope. But can't be too quick here. You can't get too greedy without that Uber. But neither can team number 1. Any player even slightly too far in could be a free pick for the side of team, or for the side of Cheesy Bread rather. But it doesn't look like Cheesy Bread is really doing anything with that Uber advantage. They allow it to essentially even. Big bomb coming in from Taro, and they get the force. Haas is able to find Shaiko, but Vertigo finding Taro there as well in the post. Doesn't matter at the end of the day. King Rat will fall to Haas before that Uber is popped, but it's immediately triggered out as Chinese Dave falls. Now the focus shifted toward Holden. They managed to find the peak, but there is a soldier behind them getting pinched. Cheese Stick will down. Cheese Stick will go down. Haas is able to find that pick. 32 Uber for the side of Holden. They managed to escape through one. Haas able to clean up the pick onto Gnome. Taro finds Chunchi, but it's too little too late. You've lost your beam. Holden remains alive. 50 Uber ad for the side of Cheesy Bread as they slowly inch their way into mid. Taro forced away from the height here.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
And now it's all up to Cheesy Bread to try and find a window into 2. I would like to see them try and use that that Uber advantage to their, well, advantage. Last time they had it trying to get into mid, they couldn't really do anything. Well, it's not that they couldn't do anything, it's that they didn't do anything with it. But this time, looks like they're definitely a little bit more confident in their abilities as they pressure through the choke. Bomb coming through from Taro. They get 1 good rocket, 2 good rocket, 3 good rocket. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! All it takes is 3 good rockets from Taro to get the drop from Holden. They're down players, but it does not matter. They even it out very quickly. King Rat has fallen, but it's a drop! It's a drop from Cheese Stick as Chunchi is able to get in and find that crucial salvage play. Oh my goodness, oh my days. And we could see a beeline into last. I don't imagine that's in the deck of cards here, but oh my goodness. What a time here on Process. It's only the first map, and this is the stuff they're pulling out. They're pulling out all the stops here, and personally, I don't blame them. You're playing for all the marbles here. We do have Vertigo up on Sniper. As the Ubers are even, they're looking to try and find an easier pick rather than sacrificing one of the soldiers. So I guess we'll have to wait and see where that sniper is peeking. Looks like he wants to get in through 1, maybe waiting for a player to open the door for him. Shot rings through 1, missed. They know the sniper is here. Told her peeking, a shot again, and nothing of value coming from it. Hard peeking through 1. They have a lot of vision through this angle. Counter sniper. Beaches takes the shot. Both of them. Beaches more successful, but no kill net. Sniper rotating. I believe getting into lobby here with the rest of the combo. Watching 5 to make sure nobody can pinch in. Peeking through 4. Can't find anything. Has to play back. And at this point, I'm thinking maybe at this point you maybe send your sniper in and just let him die, let him sack, I guess, go for the hero shot, and have him come up on another class because they know the sniper's here. They have a sniper of their own. Maybe you could take the SVS if you really want to, but I feel you're more benefited trying to get in, die, and come up on another class, or maybe just run the traditional soldier sack. But good shot from Vertigo onto Beaches. Not quite enough to kill, but a lot of good damage getting sent from Gnome into lobby. They eat some in return and are forced away. 5 remains. A very contested area here. Sniper peeking through, can't find the angle. Beaches peeking the left side. Haas is able to find a pick onto Gnome. A shot from Beaches does not land. The shot from Vertigo connects to Beaches. No sniper and no soldier alive for the side of team number 1, and with the sentry falling as well. Big bomb coming in from Haas and Chinese Dave, or not even Chinese Dave. My apologies. Haas and Chunchi. Chinese Dave had an assist in there. Now the Uber coming out from the side of Cheesy Bread there, pressuring over the point. Soldier bombing forward. I believe this is Taro. Double bomb coming in from the side of Gnome as well, but there's too much cap time. Gnome too far behind the point. Stuck in lobby, can't get there. 1 round on the board for Cheesy Bread in 8 minutes. Flat, almost. Actually, I think that was 8 minutes flat. Give or take a second. We move on to round 2. And hopefully, Cheesy Bread trying to amp up the aggression here. They were a little bit shaky on the last mid. Granted, both teams were, so can't blame them too much. They hesitate going the right side a little bit. This could come back to bite them, but they are getting a lot of good pressure. It doesn't look like team number 1 capitalizes on that as much as they should. Chauncey gets caught out on top of mid. A lot of good damage coming through, but they lose Taro and Gnome. Haas and Chauncey down as well, though, so it's a double soldier for a double soldier. And with Cheesy Bread having the worst positioning here, they may have to peel back earlier than they wish. And now with those carpet landing inside of Choke, they almost back into it, but they commit to the mid fight. They are staying in, both teams around their pack. Now committing from the left side, Cheesy Bread. Sad corner, advantageous position for team number 1, but they are slowly getting whittled away as they are not pressuring hard enough, and they are getting bullied by the scout on top of the height. Cap time favoring team number 1, however, though, and it looks like finally Cheesy Bread forced out of the mid. King Rat finds the sticky to kill Chauncey in the escape. And we go to holding second. Peeking in through IT here. It does look like we have Taro in as well, trying to find a bomb. Big bomb coming in from Gnome. It's a double bomb. A lot of good damage going on to Holden, but they managed to hang on. Living up to the name. Scout behind. However, it's Psycho in with the nuclear flank to find the drop onto Holden. They lose 3, but they gain uber advantage on the side of team number 1. Soldier in behind, decent damage going toward the beam on the point, but nothing really too eventful. But wait a minute, Haas is in on top of the point. 2 downward rockets is all it takes. It's uber for uber here on Process. That's the second time this game that a salvage has come out of a situation where one really shouldn't be able to get through, as we go back to even Ubers on second. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness. And right after I compliment Holden for living up to the name, holding on to that Uber, and they let it slip from their hands. Beach is back up on the sniper. The headshot rings through. Great shot from Beaches to find the pick onto Chinese Dave. No demo will make holding second significantly harder. Taro in with the bomb. They juggle up the scout, but it's not enough. Haas able to find the pick onto Taro. Can't send a counter here with Chinese Dave down. There is a sniper in sewer. Should be a free pick for this soldier, and yes, it will be. Haas bops it up. So now, with that sniper down, they have a window to go for a counter sack, and it looks like that's what they want to do as Vertigo and Chauncey get in. But wait a minute! Big bomb from Haas! They get in and find the drop yet again. Haas goes down to King Rat, but it is too little too late. But there's a lot less defenders out on the field for the side of Cheesy Bread. They can't stay in to defend too. They have to concede, but they might be able to reaggress sometime shortly. But with the positioning, it's not looking like it's going to be permitted. Good cap time coming in from Shaiko. 8-bit has to bomb toward, or actually 8-bit credited with the kill, but a soldier has to bomb toward the point to prevent that cap from continuing through. Lots of great spam through the choke, but nobody is able to mop up that pick onto the Gnome. Fight happening in the sewer. Taro and Haas. Taro comes out on top. Left battered and bruised. But the recapture of second was not up for debate. Shaiko barely getting out of sewer on 7 HP there. Health still not great for the side of team number 1 here. None of their players are buffed. Shaiko falls inside of IT. Chauncey able to find that pick. Has to retreat for the heal, but they should be able to try and fight their way into mid here soon. On the side of Cheesy Bread, big bomb coming through from Haas. They land on top of the point. They eat a downward pipe from King Rat, however, and that will end their escapades in mid. With the even Ubers once more we're going to have to see another sack come through from the side of team number 1. And likewise from Cheesy Bread. Peeking from Al-Qaeda is King Rat with the beam in sewer. Combo rotating over. There's a big bomb coming in from Terror. They land on top of the point. This is a great angle to have. Chauncey is able to turn it out by finding Gnome. Shaika finds Haas. That is not what you want to have right there. You want your soldier to live, ideally, but can't have everything we want. And unfortunately, Haas does fall there, but at least it's traded out. You do have to worry about that extended respawn time, or that later respawn time, rather, as Haas still has to take a little bit extra time and wait in the spectator queue. Nobody really doing anything here. It's a lull in the action. But Combo playing back in sewer. King Rat peeking very far out from Al-Qaeda. Shaiko tries to find something. Does get taken out by Haas. Chauncey 14 HP in the upper IT. The Combo playing very aggressively here as the beam is now out from Al-Qaeda. Big bomb coming in from Gnome, but they find nothing. They do. Chauncey is still very low. Taro should be a free pick here behind the point. The sticky will... Actually, it'll be Chauncey who finds the pick, and now the big bomb coming through from Haas. They are able to find beaches, and it is nuclear. It is a free or none deal in favor of Cheesy Bread, and they are on the chase. I believe that was Chauncey bombing toward the choke here. Now Shaika falling to Vertigo inside of IT, taking the chase onward. They could re-aggress and find Gnome, but they're not going to. Too weak. Don't want to take the 1v1 with the soldier from the low ground. Smart decision. Playing their life there. Building on mid to try and squeeze out as much advantage as possible. But so too is team number 1 building. This ad could be actionable if they're extremely quick, but typically in the Newbie Cup, we do not see ads of about 25-20% get taken just based off the fact that a lot of teams are not that confident. 20 ad demo playing very close to the choke. Doesn't look like they're going to be taking this. But with the pick on to Shaiko, they might try to get into second, and that looks like exactly what they're going to be doing. Soldier bombing in deep. Gets some good damage, but nothing really connects. Chinese Dave trades it out by finding Gnome, but Taro immediately responds by the pick on a Chauncey. Shaiko responding. Vertigo in from behind. Jeez, that drops, but now the counter. In from Taro. Finds nothing. Holden onto that Uber. Trying to get through the choke here. We do have, I believe this is Shaiko trying to get in from behind. They're out through IT. They're spotted. Actually, I don't even think they're spotted. They give away their position by firing at the demo who's all the way over in sewer. Now they retreat. Top right T. Soldier bombing in. Actually, never mind. It's a cancel. They land on Trapezoid. Soldier playing on top of the point. Big bomb coming in from Gnome. They land on top of the beam, but they get insta-piped from Chinese Dave. Spiked into the floor. And Cheesy Bread have secured second. They get their health up. Get their players buffed. They get lobby for free. They win last here if they take this the proper way. They have a pick on a Shaiko. Great shots from 8-Bit to find that pick. Uber through 4. Coming through. Bomb deep. Demo getting a lot of great damage on the King Rat inside of heaven. That's a free pick, and nobody's defending the point. They're not paying attention. As soon as they look, it's too late. The point is flipped, and Cheesy Bread have their second round of the game. 12:45 left on the clock until overtime kicks in. Definitely a stronger mid from both teams. Last time round. So you would hope to see similar performances. But a lot of damage going toward a Chinese Xavier. Now Vertigo very weak. Everybody on red is very weak. They have red health across the board. Haas has fallen, but people are getting healed very quickly. It's traded out quickly by finding Gnome. Big bomb coming through from the side. I believe this is Taro. They get a lot of great damage. They're somehow still alive. And they manage to find a pick. It's 4 players down. Now 5. Holding all on their lonesome. Running all the way to 1. But nobody is deep enough to chase. Holden leaves to last. And they'll have to cut this Uber disad down as fast as possible.
control point is being contested.
Spam through one, or from rollout, rather, from Haas. Haas bombing through. They spot on the low ground. They try to find the pick on the beam, but nothing is there. Protected by the scout. Beam gun in front of the point here. Uber in through the left door, but it's evens now on the last. They have greatly overestimated their ability to push into this last with Uber. They lose 3. They lose 3 for this. They trade one of those deaths now by finding Chun-Chi, but that's immediately responded to as 8-Bit finds the pick onto Gnome. As Cheesy Bread advances to second. Now, spearheading the way into middle. Great stickies from Chinese Dave, a carpet, but none connecting. 40 disad now for the side of Cheesy Bread. They'll have to try and build this out. This will end up in the short term being a little bit more advantageous for team number 1 as they have that Uber advantage, but there's nothing they can really do about it. They don't have the positioning to act on it. No sacks coming through from either team yet. Uber's just about even, or just evened out. Demo peeking through the choke. Standard. Good old standard. Shaiko peeking through lower lobby, taking the fight with the soldier and the scout here. Chun-Chi, and I believe this is Vertigo. They managed to escape. 10 minutes until overtime kicks in. Haas bombing in from Al-Qaeda. One rocket, but it doesn't connect. Melted by Beaches. That is the sack for Cheesy Bread. Now the counter is on the table for the side of team number 1. They're playing very close to the choke here. They know they can get away with it. A lot of pressure coming through IT here, but nothing mounting from it. Gnome tries to get through, but messes up the jump, bangs their head on the roof, and will get found. That is the pick. That is the sack for the side of team number 1. Now the counter on the table for Cheesy Bread. Haas back toward Al-Qaeda. The bomb coming through from Haas. One rocket, but the air pipe from King Rat. And the taunt, well earned from King Rat. It's the name, it gives them the power. The sack immediately shut down. Some damage eaten by Cheese Stick, but not enough to warrant an immediate recommit from anyone on the team. Taro in IT finds the pick onto Vertigo. High bomb coming in from Gnome. They land on Red Crate, buying their team some space as Cheesy Bread forced to retreat to second. Mid flipped here. Scout, I believe it's Shaiko pushing through lower IT, getting a lot of great damage onto Chun-Chi. They have to peel away. Gnome tries to get through, gets some damage, but not a lot. Nothing really eventful here. Haas tries to fly through as well, but Beaches is going to be the one finding that pick. Traded out immediately. 2 players in lower IT, Shaiko, and I believe also Taro, who's now going upper. Sticky dead onto Shaiko. A lot of good damage. They're caught inside of upper IT. The secondary Sticky finds him, and that's a free pick. But now Taro's in on top of the point. Cleaned up by Chinese Dave. 2 for none sack on second here. Chun-Chi is in on the Red Crate and has done a lot of great damage to Cheese Stick. Another spam rocket connects. Cheese Stick is out to second. And this should be a free mid win for the side of Cheesy Bread. They can go back to having the advantageous position. Go back to sitting in the driver's seat. And with the ball in their court, now especially with the ball in their court after the pick onto Shaiko, they get to call the shots here. Chun-Chi going for the high bomb. Now it's a double bomb. A lot of good damage onto the beam. It's the force from Chun-Chi and Haas as they find their angle. King Rat chasing deep, but messes up the bomb, hits the top of the choke, and they cannot commit any deeper. They're forced to peel back and play far away as the Ubers flip into full disad for team number 1, trying their best to pressure out and get themselves a salvage play on the board. Cheesy Bread playing by their choke, now playing by grass, and we have, I believe, our first pause of the series. And you can only think about why they're pausing here. We got a hype train going in the Twitch chat. Let's flame. Subscribe with Twitch Prime to avoid the ad breaks that we cannot control. We do our best to make sure that the ads don't happen in the middle of the game, but sometimes we can't control it. We do what we can. So if you got a Twitch Prime sub, drop it. Drop it right here. Alternatively, we got merch. You can subscribe to the Fireside OnlyFans. Exclamation point OnlyFans in the chat. We got high quality embroidered merch. We got the anglerfish jersey up on the store. We got hats. We got pants. We got hoodies. We got anything and everything that you would want on that store, as long as you don't mind getting made fun of by the one guy in your life you'll come across in public that recognizes you're wearing Team Fortress 2 merchandise. Competitive Team Fortress 2 merchandise at that. There's an interesting camera angle that we're getting on the screen here of the sky. Our producer must really like this guy's loadout. Ooh, almost did a 360. Whoa. Whoa! I didn't know the camera can zoom out that far. Everything I'm saying is like probably like 3 seconds delayed to what everybody else is saying. Okay, just got word of why the pause came through. So it's a tech. Shiko disconnected. So they've got to pause and repause to let them back into the lobby. And I mean, just looking at the situation here. Let's go back to the actual game. Situation here. Cheesy Bread, full Uber ad, getting themselves back into mid. Team number one is trying to find any salvage angle possible right now. They're in a bad way. They're in a very bad way. And the only way they recover and prevent some kind of steamroll to their last is if they get a salvage. This is a high risk, high reward situation right here, because if they take it too deep, they get too aggressive, they get too greedy, they end the round right here and now, depending on how they take it. But on the other hand, with Cheesy Bread, both teams have shown that their meds are oft undefended, or at least lack proper defenses. We've seen very, very frequently that players are able to find angles, get in, get forces, get drops when necessary. We've seen back-to-back drops. We've seen a force, then a drop. We've seen drop, then force from both teams, just flip-flopping the Uber situation constantly. There has been no consistency with the Ubers in this game, on, not counting when they're just sitting there on mid for the 30 seconds that they're sending sacks back and forth, right? There has been no consistency there. But if this goes the way that team number one is hoping it can go for, or hoping it can go, rather, then I don't know what that says for Cheesy Bread here. I saw the repause. We should be going back to live here very, very soon. So I believe that just let Shiko back in the server. Well, you know what? We got to go around with a little bit of time left. We got to do some drip checks for these people. Okay, Cheesesteak is just running the full stock. You know what? I respect it. King Rat over here. I don't know what this he has on his shoulders is, but I like the hat. I see the vision. I see the vision. I don't know what that is on his shoulders. I'm not a big fan of that. But I see the vision. Oh, we can't drip check anymore. The game is back on. Double bomb coming through. They use that Uber into the choke. They're going to be chasing to find whatever kills they possibly can. Demo sends himself to the point, stickies himself off. And they will survive. That is the salvage that they were hoping for from the side of team number one. They get that Uber out. They keep as many other players possible alive. They're not going to be able to hold on to two, but that doesn't matter. They even the Ubers out. They get out of a sticky situation. They get themselves out of a jam. And they net themselves a much easier hold. They net themselves time to build up proper defenses. They net themselves time to figure things out. Holden and the combo are playing back as they should at about 25-20 disad. But this is too little for anything to be actionable, but they're going to be sending it deep anyway. King Rat going in top of the choke. Taro going to be falling, but the counter pop coming through from the side of Cheesy Bread. They're going to ignore the demo who sent themselves all the way behind to mid. They're going to keep pressuring forward, and this is the right play here. They know King Rat is behind. They have control of second, and they know that they are basically up 4 players here if they just keep rolling. The level 2 sentry is spotted on top of the point, but it gets taken down immediately with the engineer, and there is nobody alive to defend the point. Soldier, Gnome trying to bomb their way forward, but they are too late. And that is a third round on the board for the side of Cheesy Bread with 5:25 left in the round. And that is where Shaiko seems to have disconnected. And now we go back to the game. Round 4 here. So far, a sweep from Cheesy Bread. High bomb coming in now, turn to fade from Chun-Chi, but the counter from Gnome should crater in the choke. Really picked, but traded out instantly. Taro finds Vertigo. A lot of good damage toward the pack. Shaiko will fall. Chun-Chi spots out that isolated player. And that is a mid win for the side of Cheesy Bread. But no Uber win. Basically even here, and it should be treated as such. Pressuring into 2. Some damage going the beam's way, but nothing really remarkable. Taro spots the soldier who rotates to Al-Qaeda. This is Haas over in sewer now. Just exchanging spam. High bomb coming in from Haas. They get low and slow. They get mulched from Beaches. Not the highest of bombs that they were looking for there, I believe. And that is the sack for the side of Cheesy Bread. Now the counter on the board for the side of team number 1. Situation we are not too unfamiliar with. Taro and Sewer looking for an angle. Bombing out. Low bomb gets a lot of good damage onto Holden, but they hold that Uber they don't use. And they mop up the pick onto Taro. Now players need to get rehealed. 8-bit, red health, going back above. Still under 100. Could get one shot here if they're unlucky. Taking the fight through the choke unwillingly as Shaiko gets through. Only takes 3 points of damage. But forced away. Austin deep, getting a lot of good damage on the cheese sticks, which forces them back. They trade that out by finding the pick on a Shaiko, but now Chun-Chi falls. 2 for 1 here. Uber still online for the side of team number 1. Demo playing a little too close for comfort to that choke. Taro pressuring through sewer. Now Gnome on red crate. Cheesy Bread slowly losing their positioning and space on mid. Soldier launched into the air. Haas almost air shot, but craters to Taro. Big bomb coming in from the Gnome. That force comes out in the choke. Now they Uber their demo. Dave goes deep, gets some good damage through. Actually, they Uber before that damage can connect, and they immediately try to find the counter on to Dave. They do not find it. Taro will fall, but they find Vertigo and Chun-Chi here. Now, bomb coming in from King Rat on top of second. They're trying to lay down a carpet, but it's not going to be anything successful here as Chinese Dave finds Rat and Shaiko. Now they juggle the beam inside of the choke, and Cheese Stick falls as Holden remains alive. Cheesy Bread nets themselves an easy, probably 70 Uber ad here if they build it out right. But it looks like they'll be a little bit slow to build. Actually, it doesn't matter. Cheesestick had nobody to connect to for a couple, or for a little bit, so 70 ad nonetheless. Haas dies! King Rat dies. King Rat had a trap. Oh, look at a bomb coming in from the side. Altero, they're trying to find anything here. Good damage through, but no picks. No picks. And now, the prospect is maneuvered through 4, but the Pyro comes through and does a million damage of fire to the beam. Shaiko falls. The Pyro is out of the equation. A lot of good damage coming from heaven as the soldier Chon-Chi is spamming downward. A lot of great tap time here. You can play around the point with Cheesestick, the last man standing. There's nothing they can do. It's 4-0 Cheesy Bread with a minute left on the clock until overtime kicks in. And regardless of overtime kicking in, this game ends 5-0. But whether or not it ends 5-0 is up to team number 1. Is that the Quickie Bomb launcher I just noticed King Rat is using? Haven't seen the Quickie Bomb launcher in the Newbie Cup. Fade Bomb from Chon-Chi. Good damage on the right side. Playing on the blue crate is Cheesy Bread. Good bomb from Taro. They find 1, look for 2, but good damage. No pick, but good damage. Or no secondary pick, rather, but good damage. Holden falls as Gnome is able to get in through a gap. Vertigo tries to find that pick faster, but to no avail. Big counter bomb coming in from Haas. They're able to find the pick on a Cheesestick as well as 8-bit. Comes in with the cleanup crew.
The control point is being captured.
It's a 5-for-3 ordeal on the mid with both meds trading. Overtime has kicked in. It is still possible for team number 1 to make a comeback. The ball is in their court. Haas bombing forward into the choke, spots it, isolated demo, and gets a free pick onto King Rat. The rest of team number 1 playing in the choke. Slight Uber advantage. Cheesy Bread getting through. Gnome is on top of Sewer, but beefs the bomb. And blows themselves up trying to jump away. The rocket hit 8-bit. Shaiko in the choke behind Haas gets cleaned up by 8-bit and Vertigo on the chase. Haas plays back, looking for heals. And now it should be a free sack into second. Chong-Chi up high in the air. 8-bit falls to the quickies. Barrow into the choke, gets some good damage onto the beam, or onto the demo rather. Finds no picks, but they do not find themselves picked either. As we see team number 1 getting back into the mid.
The control point is being contested.
Beaches falls, Chinese Dave has the stickies to clean him up. Shaiko now down as well, 8-bit finds that pick. The pressure is back on from the side of Cheesy Bread as they press their way through the middle, trying to find their way onto 2, maybe finding a pick here and there. But to no avail, Haas going in deep, lands on the beam. 1 rocket is all it takes for the Force, and now they can kite this out and keep their Uber in the equation, but they're going to opt for the counter as they spot Gnome bombing in high. Vertigo finds that pick, now they're chasing hard. Beam runs to 1, there's the only spot they can go. King Rat caught inside of 1. They might be out of ammo. They're on the half-zat trying to find a pick here. Holden this week gets taken down by Beaches. Shaiko finds, or rather, Shaiko. Vertigo trades that out. And Beaches now falls to 8-bit on the point. So this will not be a fast round conversion for Cheesy Bread. They're going to be riding the struggle bus on this one, as they have to as they have to hold on here. Reverse sweep could still happen. We've been in overtime for probably 5-7 minutes now. I would venture a guess. So still back and forth. Sentry spotted on the point. They know it's there. They see the stickies as well. Lobby space being taken as they near 90% Uber. Beaches is up on the sniper. Shang-Chi is down. Nothing really happening between these two teams here with Shang-Chi down. They can't take lobby safely. So they have to wait for their player to get back. Brazen peek on one from Gnome. Doesn't die to the stickies that were there in an attempt to give their sniper an angle. No off class for the side of Cheesy Bread yet. Just some spam getting traded through 5 here. Boss trying to watch the door. Beaches, good shot onto Shang-Chi, but there's no pick. Just low on health. Teams are just kind of stalemating here. 1:45 on the round clock. No sack has been sent yet. No attempt to double spam the gun has been made. Really no lobby control has been made. Haas is in 5, trying to spot through to spam the gun, but they're doing it solo with no support from the rest of the team. I don't know if that's an overextend or the team is underextended behind them. Wait a minute, Chinese Dave gets the soul read onto King Rat. Oh my god. Drops walls in the chat. Oh my goodness me. The soul read of the Sentry. 8-bit falls to the Sentry. Haas is able to find the pick onto Gnome. That Sentry is still an obstacle as we dip below 1 minute left in the round. Waiting for 8-bit to respawn here. We need to be taking lobby control if we're on the side of Cheesy Bread here. Getting that gun spam down. Whoa! 45 seconds on the sniper for 8-bit. Playing the very slow game here. This might be too slow. This is probably going to reset the round. 30 seconds on the round clock. A bit of a misplay from Cheesy Bread here, but they can make it work if they get lucky. Sniper is hard peeking through 1, gets met by Gnome. They stay alive. 10 seconds on the clock. Beaches looking rollout, potentially 1 here. Looking 1. Spam coming through a rollout to disrupt the timing. 3 seconds on the clock. It's going to be a round reset. And we will go back to mid. A miscalculation on the part of Cheesy Bread to have one of their players come up on sniper and just no lobby presence throughout that entire hold from team number 1 allows them to get away with a reset. All they had to do was park the bus and relax on their point. Going into the next mid. Looks like we're going to have a right side mid from Cheesy Bread. Big bomb coming in from the side of Taro, getting some good damage, and King Rat will be able to mop 1 pick up onto Vertigo with some of that damage, but for Cheesy Bread, they have no more mid presence. They have to reconnect with 8-bit inside of Choke. Beaches will fall. This should be a free soldier pick as well. Chinese Dave forces the crater onto Gnome. 3-4-1 on this mid as now Cheesy Bread, who were in a very poor position, now find themselves in the driver's seat once more. Haas pressuring for the choke. Through towards Sewer, going to meet Shaiko. Chonchi down here. Should open the window for a sack from team number 1, but the timing might be a little bit off. Shaiko through IT. Now Taro as well. This should be a 2K if they can find the rocket that connects, but nobody is chasing for these two weak players. They walk away, barely surviving by the skin on their teeth. Shaiko in IT. Beach is just playing on the fence here, spawning for that information. Best you can really do in this scenario. As the ball is in Cheesy Bread's court to find a window to sack. Haas is playing by Al-Qaeda once more. But now rotating out of the sewer. Actually, never mind. They peek the door. See what's going on with the rest of the team. Say hello to the combo. Roamers get lonely sometimes. They don't see their combo very often. Whoa, wait a minute, what? Something going on in IT here. A big push coming through as Haas is in through Al-Qaeda. Gets great damage on the cheese sticks. But nothing of note here. Just the damage. No picks, no force, no drop. So that is the sack from the side of Cheesy Bread. The spam trade through the choke. Oh, no, messes up the bomb and gets levitated by the stickies on the rock. An unfortunate set of circumstances. Hits their head on the roof of that choke there. And that'll be their sack. Shaiko falls as well. Opportunity for the counter now, especially with Vertigo finding the pick on the Taro. Chun-Chi jumps in with the escape play. They're out of ammo. Chun-Chi bombs the legendary zero rocket bomb, I suppose. Wait a minute, there's a soldier coming in. I believe this is Gnome, landing on top of the point. Immediately spotted by 8-Bit. Holden actually gets an assist on that. I think they shot an arrow at Gnome. Beaches and Shaiko up on Sniper and Engineer, respectively. Lobby control being taken. Spotting that sentry is crucial. It's in the back right. They know it's there. Have to try and find the pick. They have to try and get this gun down much, much faster than their previous escapade in lobby. Gnome is weak. Has to go back for heals. Spam through one. Sniper looking to peek through rollout. We've got Vertigo up on Sniper a bit earlier than the previous round. Sentry taken down early. Sniper peeking deep. Misses the headshot onto Gnome. Finds the refire, though. And finds the pick on the Beaches as well. Doesn't even have to move. And now the Uber from the side of team number one. The collapse coming through from the side of Cheesy Bread. They lose Dave in the lobby, but it doesn't matter. With 2 of 3 living players on the point, or in lobby rather, and 1 person left to defend, Cheesy Bread walks away from the first map in a 5-0 sweep. Very, very strong performance from him. Faltered a little bit at the end, but managed to turn things around when it mattered. Now I gotta pull up the logs. Where the logs at? My producer gave me the logs. I have the logs. Let's look at these logs. Now, obviously, with the game, that game was only 40 minutes. I guess the pause made it feel like a little bit longer. But, you know, with a game that goes a little bit longer than you expect it to go, DPMs are not as high as you would imagine. The top DPM is Taro at 267, and rightfully so. I mean, we saw some crazy bombs, some great spam. What I'm more surprised about is Haas and Chun-Chi not having as high of a DPM, because it felt like they had a lot of impact in that game, a lot of good damage and spam as well. But I guess they didn't have as much as Taro did. But Haas as well had a major impact outside of the spam, getting a lot of great bombs. So too did Chun-Chi. But I think most of the soldier impact for the side of Cheesy Bread came from being able to collapse at the right time, just coordinating together properly, and that benefit them very, very well. So I guess we'll have to see if team number one can capitalize on this and try to play around the weaknesses that gives, because it doesn't feel like with Chun-Chi especially, we saw a lot of fade bombs. We can take advantage of that because you can assume safely that whenever you see Chun-Chi up in the air, that initial bomb is going to be a fade. They did this every time, and then they had Haas come in. On those mids, that's something you can come to expect. Now, we're going to a map where double bombing isn't necessarily as good, if good at all, but on other portions of this map, you can expect to see it coming through as we go on to Sunshine, the second map of this best of 3 series. If Cheesy Bread wins it, they go home in a series sweep with the gold medal. If team number 1 wins it, we go to map 3, which will be Gully Wash, which dragged on for a little bit last night between the Bikini Bottom Crips and Nieces and Nephews in the quarterfinal. But Sunshine is, like many people say, including myself, Sunshine is process, but better. A lot of the rules you have on process and that you apply to process also apply to Sunshine. We do have predictions live if you want to predict here. Put your channel points on whichever team you think is going to win. I do think there was an ad break in the middle of a push last game. Like I clarified earlier, we do our best to prevent those, but we can only stop so many of them. If you would like to avoid that situation happening, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Alternatively, if you want to support Fireside, don't have Prime, don't want to spend money on Twitch, maybe you got extra fees, check out the Fireside OnlyFans, !OnlyFans, or check out the merch. We got merch, we got hoodies, we got hats, we got pants, we got anything that you need. We got the anglerfish jersey up there, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we got everything. Anything and everything anyone could want is up on that store, as long as you don't mind getting made fun of by the one guy you're going to cross paths with in your life that knows you're wearing competitive Team Fortress 2 merchandise. But I think we're just waiting on one player here, and then as soon as they're in the server, we're probably going to be going live. I don't imagine we'll be waiting too long. Sunshine, with the mid being the way it is, it plays a lot into the rotations. Like I mentioned in the cast for the Nieces and Nephews and the Bikini Bottom Crips, a lot of teams, and I notice this mistake happening a lot, is when they go for their rotates, they rotate into the corner, the sad corner, rather than in front of Tetris over the point like they should be doing, so they can have players getting on top of Tetris, as well as having some point presence and not throwing themselves in a horrible spot where they can get mulched basically instantaneously. Now, I don't think we saw that mistake happen between the Bikini Bottom Crips and the Nieces and Nephews. Haven't been able to cover a lot of the teams just because of scheduling issues, unfortunately. But hopefully we don't see that mistake this game, and if we do see it, it only happens one time, because that's a mistake you make and you never make again, because that is a mistake that will cost you a lot, if not everything. We should be going live here soon. Like I said, predictions are live. If you have not predicted with your channel points yet, do feel free to do so. Get it twisted. You will profit. Actually, do we have info for who picked which map? Yeah, well, our lovely producer, Resin, will figure this out for us. And we can... Okay. 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 So, Process was a cheesy bread pick. And Sunshine is the team number 1 pick. So it's a team winning on their map pick, and now we're going to the opposing team's map pick. So I would imagine that this is the map that team number 1 is probably the most comfortable on. Granted, the Newbie Cup does have a limited map pool. I mean, they kind of have to, because it would be really, really hard to try and cram, like, 5-6 maps worth of knowledge into newbies' minds. It's hard enough to cram 4 maps of knowledge into their minds, but with the maps in the pool being so similar, it also just cuts down on the amount of, you know, different things that they have to learn. Not sure what we are waiting for, but these players will erupt soon, I'm sure, and we'll get the show on the road for Sunshine Map 2 of this best of 3. If you're just tuning in, this is the grand final of the Newbie Cup between team number 1. Yes, that is their name. I guess they did not pick a name, or maybe they just chose to call themselves team number 1. Who knows? But it's between team number 1 and insert cheesy bread. Cheesy bread wins Process the first map of this series in a 5-0 sweep, but it definitely did not feel like a 5-0 sleep, or 5-0 sweep, rather. It definitely felt much closer. Team number 1 definitely put up a good fight, and I know that's going to translate over to Sunshine. I know that Sunshine is not going to come very easy for Cheesy Bread, especially with this being team number 1's map pick. Team number 1 looking to live up to the name and get that first place. I guess we could circle back to Sunshine just as a map, functionally speaking. We cover the mids. We got to look at the last. It's very similar to Process. The only thing that's really different is this high entrance on the right side. If you look at it from the attacking perspective, this is really the only thing that's super different. That and secret or dungeon. Prediction is almost over, so if you want to get your channel points in, you have to get it in now. Usually we end it after the first mid, but I've had to waffle for so long that it's just going to expire on its own. We should be going live very, very soon, though, so make sure to get your predictions in. You have less than a minute to get this done. Put your channel points on whichever team you think is going to win. Even if you just put, like, if you're a new follower, just throw the 300 points you get from following the channel into a random team. Just gamble. Just take a gamble. Take a risk. You'll profit. Trust me, you'll profit. And if you don't, not my fault. Not my fault. But like I was saying, really, Sunshine and Process are very similar. Mid's more so than the rest of the map, but last is probably the second closest, I would say. The only things that are different is secret and, well, the upper area over here, the right side, if you're looking at it from the attacking perspective. It's a bit awkward at times, especially if you're like scrambling to get your defense set up, but we've seen how these teams play. I don't think scrambling to set up a defense is really on the table for either of these teams. We are going live, however, to the second map in the series. Sunshine is live. And to this mid, being quick is pretty important. Can't be slow, and it looks like we're going to have Cheesy Bread significantly faster to the mid, at least the demo, but the rest of the team lagging behind slightly. Looks like it'll be a right side mid, but Chonshi going to the left all on their lonesome, getting caught out. They've got to try and trade this down fast here. Toss bombs over top of the point. They're going to be sent down below the point. Now, Shaiko getting over top of the point, getting through. Now a soldier as well. Demo coming in. King Rat will fall as 8 that is able to find that pick. Now Shaiko falling to Vertigo. Haas is fallen. It's Chonshi and Haas who have fallen. Chonshi has spawned up. They've got to play very carefully here. There's a soldier on top of the beam here over by Tetris, but Holden manages to live. Oh my goodness, that wall just prevented a drop of cataclysmic proportions. I guess not really a drop, but a very close, almost drop for the side of Holden. They get into Cafe and manage to grab that pack. They live on mid. They get it. Now they're pressuring into second for free based off that player ad, but wait a minute, it's not for free as the reinforcements are here. The defense is up. Uber used from the side of team number 1. Now the counter pop coming in from Cheesy Bread. They are chasing forward. Sticky's on top of the doorway, but they dead too early and they don't catch the scout that is retreating through. So it's an Uber for Uber here with a slight lean. Actually, there is no advantage for the side of team number 1, even though they had the earlier Uber, because I think Cheesy Bread flashed more people. So they ended up ending at about the same time. But they are building a little bit better. They do have a slight amount of ad, but it's not going to matter. They're committed to the last hold. And now we have to see something that Cheesy Bread has struggled with throughout this series, especially throughout Process, where they really struggled to double spam the gun or, you know, spot or look through to the last in general. And they lose 3? What in the world? Taro finds Chinese Dave and Chonshi. Haas dies to the Century Rocket, I'm pretty sure. What? I'm just gonna say it straight. I'm gobsmacked. Team number 1 gets mid for free. They're waddling their way through. Forward spawns are in effect for the side of Cheesy Bread, so they might be able to defend this. Bomb coming in from the side of Gnome, but they flub it. Damage is coming through enough toward Holden that they have to back out through Valley. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. That they have to back out through Valley and hold on to second. Haas is hiding, trying to find a pick here. They'll be able to find Shaiko. Now they jump away. A hit and run from Cheesy Bread. They cut down the amount of time they'll likely have to hold, as this gives them an opportunity to send in a counter sack. As this pick effectively acts as their own sack. What a rocket. The spam from, I believe it was also Haas. Cross map direct onto Cheese Stick. Totally chance. But what a rocket nonetheless. They do not act on the scout pick they have, however, they do not go for the sack. And they're basically allowed to waddle into Valley for free. Haas is going in. It's a double bomb from behind. A beautiful downward direct from Haas to find the drop on the Cheese Stick. They lose 3 on the side of Cheesy Bread, but it does not matter. There's no Uber on the table for team number 1. Beautifully coordinated, and that is the strengths between Chonshi and Haas, as they play very, very well together. A high bomb from Chonshi over the wall, the archway in Valley, drawing the eyes with pressure from the combo, and the bomb from behind from Haas. Taro Going for the high bomb, landing on top of the beam. That's a lot of good damage, and it's another drop. And finds it. Vertigo trades it out. But now they've got to try and find a salvage. With all damage being permanent, though, any play is risky. Demo has to back out through Valley. Will get traded out as Haas finds Chico. But it is too little, too late. A theme all too common between both of these teams here in this Newbie Cup Grand Final. Team number one, a lot of presence on mid. Full Uber advantage. Recovered from a drop that they really should not have been able to recover from. It's only a matter of time until they start pressuring into second here as they slowly but surely and very meticulously move their way into Cafe, making sure that there are no threats in their way. Haas is behind, however, going toward Cafe, trying to find an angle to get in and go for another salvage. They do not know Haas is behind them, so if he plays this right, he can find a very influential pick, but Chico spots him. But wait a minute, he's still in for free. 2 rockets and the force as they find the pick on the beaches. Now, the back cap is on. There's an Uber on top of the point. Haas has to jump toward the point. They get the pick onto the soldier defending the point, or attacking the point, however. But it's too little too late. King Rat finds the direct pipe onto Haas. And that will end this first round. It is 1-0 for the side of team number one. Going to the next mid. High bomb coming in from Gnome, but I think that's unintentional. Or maybe they didn't get as far as they wanted to. Pressure is good enough from the side of Team Cheesy Bread that they're just able to pressure out team number one without having to go for any picks. And I think that's the first time in recorded history that in a Newbie Cup, nobody has died for the mid to be captured. Now, Chinese Dave does fall, so that does give team number one a good window to try and pressure through. But Haas is in Valley, finds the pick onto Terra, trades out that pick that came in onto, I believe that was Vertigo. Chanshi is down, so now Haas is the only soldier alive, caught inside of Valley. Players turn around to find that pick. Team number one back onto the mid in a very dominant fashion. They flipped the script here and are now in the driver's seat, looking to pressure into Cheesy Bread second. A lot of space being taken from Valley as they know they have the player advantage. Good damage from Gnome onto Vertigo, but could be cleaned up here on the floor. Will be pulls out the skill stick at the same frame. Chanchi finds a rocket. Now they find King Rat as well. Beautiful placed rockets. The Uber coming through. They're going to have to find that Uber very early on and make them flash a lot to get anything of value out of it. They run away very fast, trying to get away as fast as they can. Haas falls in Valley, or rather lower as they crater. But they should be able to recapture mid here as they come out on top with player advantage. Spamming the choke to make sure they can't instantly regress. We see mid flip for a third time. Back into the hands of Cheesy Bread. Where Ubers are even. And now we enter a slight lull. Things get a little calm for a brief moment. Not sure how long that brief moment will last, but things will be calm for a moment. Back from the ads. Nothing really eventful happening. No sacks being sent, no sacks being received. Cheesy Bread, I mean, the ball's in their court. Haas is trying to get through Cafe here, at least is spotted in Cafe, held off by Gnome. Gnome now peeking in Cafe with a slight health advantage, but comes away. Not worth risking your life just to peek Cafe. Just hold it the traditional way, and things will be alright. Still no sack sent in from Cheesy Bread. Gnome will fall here. Shiko falls as Chinese Dave is able to find those tickets in Valley. A lot of good damage onto Cheese Stick. We could see a force here, and yes, we will. There's a force from Cheese Stick as they now have to pressure forward. Haas leading through Cafe, and they will survive, going for the health pack. Uber still online for the side of Cheesy Bread as they get in through Valley, going toward lower. They can leave a player and go into lobby. They're going to be chasing hard to the left side, trying to find King Rat. They will be successful. 8-Bit going to be able to find that pick. Engineer coming out from the right side of the spawn, immediately swaps off to Buddhist. Uber is over. They retreat into lobby. Back to second. King Rat has fallen. Taro has fallen now as well. Buddhist playing very deep inside of lobby. Beam and Scout pressuring from Bats. But now, as things calm down, they play back on the point and try to build out this Uber. And so too will Cheesy Bread, as they cannot safely take lobby until that Uber is very, very near. Vertigo up on the sniper here. A very common trend we have seen from Cheesy Bread. They love Vertigo Sniper. And like, what in the world? Beaches has fallen. The Uber is getting taken from team number 1 into second for some reason. I think they may have thought that they had to out of here. Chaunchi goes down. Cheese Stick will fall. Chinese Dave was able to find the sticky. Now King Rat falls to the pike from King Rat. Or Chinese Dave, rather. Soldier behind. There's 2 players left on last to defend. A lot of good cap time coming through. The back half is threatened. The Uber is on top of the point. They got to let go of somebody on top of the point. Somebody has to be let go of. There's a soldier just playing leapfrog on top of the point. The air shot from hard. Seals the deal. 2 for 1. From, I believe, that was Taro doing their absolute best to defend the last point. But there's only so much one person can do. And despite the 2 for 1 rocket there after 12 and a half minutes, or I guess 11 and a half minutes, we have got our first round on the board. We go in the second round, crossing in front of the point for Cheesy Bread. Going into the sad corner, this could be detrimental to them. This is the mistake that I was talking about earlier. They retreat into the cafe. Soldiers bombing in toward the Tetris. Haas is caught out in front of it. So too will Vertigo be caught on the mid. And now Cheesy Bread backing away to their second. They manage, despite the fact that they should not have been able to get away with it, to keep their beam alive. But it's only a matter of time until someone tries something. Ubers online for both teams. The force comes out from the side of Cheesy Bread as I believe Shaiko gets in from the flank. They manage to find the counter, and now they have to retreat as fast as possible. King Rat will find the stickies that pick up Chinese Dave. And just as fast as they won their first round, they're on their own last, trying to prevent a loss of a round. Trying to prevent themselves from being down in the score once more. Both teams just building out their Ubers here, committing to the last hold, getting that gun set up on the far right side toward Toxic. I'm surprised we haven't seen Vertigo Sniper 8-Bit Scout. Or rather, 8-Bit NG. I guess they have to build that out. So, Vertigo has to come up on the NG there. They don't really get an option. Good stickies from Chinese Dave. They find the overextended pick onto Shaiko. They could find a pick onto King Rat here. Try to pressure through. Will not be able to find it. King Rat is able to escape. But they have a pick nonetheless that should slow down at team number 1. And give them, on the side of Cheesy Bread, an opportunity to collect themselves and figure things out. Dispenser getting built by the barrels. Team's just playing very passive here. No real pressure coming in from the side of team number 1, which is kind of surprising. I mean, I know you're down your scout there, but you can still pressure a little bit. Great spam into the right side of the lobby from the side of Cheesy Bread, really pressuring back team number one, making them work for that angle. Great counter damage from the side of team number one on a Chonshi, though. Almost had a free pick, but there was no soldier there to hit that air shot. So Chonshi will remain alive. Haas jumps in front of an entire team. Very, very ballsy. Good damage into the doorway. Haas finds the pick on a Taro, but it's traded out as Haas craters. Gnome credited with the kill. The retreat from team number one on to second. Despite the even players, they don't want to be in lobby in this situation, which is a bit odd. I feel you can still be in lobby here with the players being even. But
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
they are choosing to not play in lobby. Now, wait a minute. King Rat going through dungeon. We could see a dungeon Uber, but they're spotted immediately by the soldier. The Uber coming out through lower. Both soldiers are inside of lobby right now on the side of Cheesy Bread. This could be detrimental to number one's push, but they've got to get onto the point quick here. The counter pop coming in from Cheesy Bread as they are able to find the pick on a Taro. Now it is a total collapse of players as 3 will die trying to capture.
The control point is being contested.
Counter pop, immaculate. Soldier damage, immaculate. And now the pinch comes through. Haas is in deep, finds the rockets, does not. Taken down by King Rat. And now we go to a not too unfamiliar situation where both teams, excuse me, I'm yawning. Both teams are just trading spam in mid. Or rather, trading spam through the choke, excuse me. Looks like a little bit of pressure toward Valley from team number one. Could be seeing a potential Valley push here as they get the space for free. Chonshi waiting for the call. High fly bomb from Chonshi on the beam. One rocket is not enough. They can't find the follow-up. Haas is able to find Taro weak on mid. Under the point, has to go for the small pack. Wrapping around, blows themselves up on the retreat. Soldier sacking in, clips the top of the fence and messes up the bomb, levitated into the air. Gnome will be taken down. Scout, Shaiko pressuring in. Demo throwing some good stickies over the point. But at the end of the day, neither med has used. There's been no force, no drop. And just a trade of material here. Counter sack on the table for the side of Cheesy Bread. But with that respawner on the way, doesn't seem so much like an option anymore. Could potentially see another Valley push from the side of team number one with all their players posturing toward it. And that seems like it'll be the plan. Chonshi again waiting for the call to commit. Haas by the choke, potentially drawing some eyes. Uber gets used by Cheesy Bread. Now, this has to be a big bomb. They get the force. The sync drop is missed, but they get the force nonetheless. Now they lose Haas and Chinese Dave. 2 for 2. Losing your demo is not optimal, but maybe you can find King Rat. Chonshi is behind, trying to go in. One rocket under the beam, 2 rockets under the beam. Chonshi finds the pick on the cheese stick. And now Cheesy Bread has their beam alive to hold on to last. Score remains at 1-1. All tied up here. The teams are going all out for this map. For team number one, this map is the borderline between going home a second and going home with first. King Rat finds the trap onto Haas. One pick in their favor. Uber advantage, not so much. Going Valley with this Uber. Waddling their way forward. No Soldier to bomb high. Sticky's on the wall. They dead early. Soldier playing Tetris. Now Cafe. They're pushing through hard. They're trying to get whatever they can. They're going to be able to find a pick on a King Rat. 8-bit finds that one. Soldier on Cafe. Or on Bell, rather. Shaiko going under the point. The recommit could happen very soon. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Air shot from Chonshi on Taro as they juggle them up in the Bell. Mid secured for Cheesy Bread. The successful Valley Uber. But now, the tables have turned. They're at the Uber disadvantage of about 40%. But I don't think team number one is in any position to try and make something happen with their advantage. Could potentially try something here, though, as they waddle their way to Valley. The Uber is getting used through Valley. Lots of good stickies into the Cafe. The counter used from the side of Cheesy Bread as they are now forced to pressure out on to mid. Chonshi predicts Gnome on Cafe roof. Will find it. Shaiko and Taro both go down. Vertigo getting credited with both of those kills and a finish. Bed popped up into the air. And the crater spiked into the floor by Haas. Cheese Stick out of the equation. King Rat just spawned up. Just a demo and a scout on last to defend.
Time has been added.
Beaches up on the sniper, looking right side from the defending perspective. Ubers. Not exactly even, but definitely a little tight. Lobby control to be taken very soon by Cheesy Bread as they near 90 Uber. And a little bit early, they hear the sentry. Chonshi calls. Looks like they're trying to take this one in through right. Sentry does not get taken down. Those pipes are doing great work at stuffing the Uber. Sentry slowly getting whittled down. Sticky's on top of the point. Not very many, however. King Rat stuck inside of the spawn door. Vertigo 4 HP. A lot of bad health for the side of Team Cheesy Bread. Team number one, however, has lost more players. Now they equalize. 8-bit, very weak. A lot of cap time, however, the demo's on top of the point. It's just Haas in on the point, and they cannot do it all on their lonesome. Holden trying to hold their own against this scout. Beaches finds the pick in the 1v1. A flubbed last push from Cheesy Bread means the score remains at 1-1 on the second map of the series. Cheesy Bread wins this map. They win the series. They go home first, and team number one becomes team number two. And team number one is not in the market for that. You can tell by the way they are playing. Gnome falls. Shaiko almost falls. Gets taken down very low. But no counter sack from the side of Cheesy Bread. Admittedly playing a little too close for comfort here as that Uber looking to come through Valley. They pop it a little bit early. King Rat is preoccupied with a soldier behind, drawing eyes. It's a solo scout Uber through Cafe. Chinese David manages to stay alive. It's an Uber for one pick as the Uber advantage now shifts. They dodge the stickies inside of Cafe and the Uber is taken out onto mid. They have to be fast with this. Wait a minute, Chonchi's in behind with an absolutely nuclear bomb with the support of 8-bit in the Uber behind, chasing through on the damage. Cheese Stick remains alive for the time being, but will fall to the hands of Vertigo. Now King Rat taking the demo 1v1 on Lighthouse. Will get taken down. Help from Vertigo, but the back cap is in effect. Taro is on second. Haas finds Taro. Beaches finds 8-bit. Holden has had nobody to go to for a minute. Now, which should have been a very advantageous position for him, turns sour as they're on their own last. Team number 1 looking to get themselves back in the lead. Both teams building it out here. Uber advantage for the side of team number 1. 5 minutes on the clock until overtime. No real pressure in lobby yet, despite having the Uber. On the side of team number 1, they finally take lobby control, or at least attempting to. But it is a little bit too late for that, as Cheesy Bread manages to find their Uber. In spite of the advantage that was held by team number 1 here, they're going to have to play it evens. They're pressuring through the right side door. Scout is in through lower, does get cleaned up by Chonchi. Out by 8-bit. Beaches is the one to fall. They peel back, leaving lobby on the side of team number 1. Cheesy Bread should be able to play a little bit more aggressive here. As the time ticks away, slowly but surely, we near the overtime kicking in. Chonchi will fall as Gnome is able to find that pick towards lower, I do believe. 4 minutes on the clock until overtime. Chonchi still in that respawn queue. Beaches is up on Sniper. Something to look out for here. We do have Gnome spotting through lower. Lobby is under the control of team number 1. Beaches peeking top right. Finds the pick on a Chinese Dave. Good headshot. Now the Uber coming in from Toxic side. They're pressuring through the point. Going to be able to find the... They're actually not going to be able to find that gun pick until very, very late. Now the counter pop coming in from Cheesy Bread. Soldier jumping up toward bridge. That's Taro. Now the combo retreating through lower. Taro bombing on top of the point, trying to find the pick on a beam. Runs away with the skill stick out. Does not fall. For the time being, they continue to hold on to the last. Toss falls, but Chonchi trades that out by finding the pick onto Shaiko. We go back to another hold. 3 minutes left on the clock until overtime kicks in. 1:20 until the round resets. It is still 1-1. Uber through dungeon, coming through. Sentry still on the left side. Has not been taken down yet, but a soldier will fall on top of the point. Haas and Chinese Dave will fall. There's no demo alive for the side of Cheesy Bread. They've got to get on top of the point. That Uber is through with 1 tick of cap time left. It's just the Uber players left alive. Demo and Beam playing in the top right, but that Sentry is still watching the point like a hawk. Good stickies coming in from the side of team number 1. Wait a minute. This could be a win. But never mind. 8-bit is not able to stay alive. The Sentry cannot react in time. It is I guess it could be 4 minutes until the game ends. I was going to say 2 minutes until overtime kicks in. Got a little confused with what I was thinking about. But it's 2 minutes until that overtime kicks in. It's 2-1 here. And team number 1 is back on top. Trying to secure themselves this win and force a third map. If they lose, they go home swept. High bomb going into the side corner. This could be very nuclear as they are bunched up. This should not be what you are trying to do. And that is exactly what will kill Holden. They managed to find 3 picks on the side of it. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. The entirety of the remaining blue team members are stuck inside of Red Valley. And they will all fall to Chinese Dave, who picked himself up a 4K on this mid. 3 of them coming from isolated players. And in spite of a crucial mistake coming from a Cheesy Bread with 1 minute left on the clock until overtime now.
Our control point.
They managed to keep things even. Chinese Dave doing God's work right there for their team.
We have lost the control point.
Just good spam coming in Rom at Cheesy Bread trying to have some lobby presence before they actually fully take it. Uber is online for the side of team number 1. Sentry being moved to the corner of the point right side, watching that toxic door. Also, good angle on Dungeon here. Can get spammed out from the right angle. Win limit has been decreased. Wait a minute. P-Stick has just used their Uber for absolutely zero reason. There's no reason they had to use their Uber there. This is a misclick of the century. A misplay of insane proportions. As now Holden sits with full Uber advantage. Cheesy Bread is looking to press on and fight their way into last. They have to be wary of the stickies above the doorway. That Uber comes out before they can come into effect. Sentry on top of the point. With the dispenser, they find the pick onto the engineer as well. Vertigo does fall, but the health is very bad. 2 picks for Chinese Dave here. Chinese Dave finds another. They're going on an 8 kill streak on last here. Chinese Dave finds 9 in this life. And the score is tied up. It's match point. It's series point here at this rate. Cheesy Bread has to win one more round to go home and turn team number 1 into team number 2. We move on to potentially the final mid of this game. King Rat will fall early, or at least should fall early. They're able to get healed in Cubby. Looks like it's going to be a right side mid from the side of Cheesy Bread. They bunch up in the sad corner once more. Fail bomb from Gnome. They're protected from their mistake for the time being. Chauncey falls, traded out by Beaches. Taro falls, no soldiers alive for the side of team number 1. Bell control in full effect for the side of Cheesy Bread. Beam caught in red choke. Shiko caught in blue choke here, separated from the rest of the team. Haas going in from behind to find the pick of the cheese. Oh my goodness me! King Rat falls, the force comes out from the side of Cheesy Bread, but the pick on the Cheese 6 makes it all worth it. As now, they waddle their way to second through the choke. No resistance from team number 1 at 30 disad. This could be the last you see of this Newbie Cup if Cheesy Bread can play this properly. Slowly taking lobby space. 50 Uber ad here. Shiko up on NG here. Getting that gun set up, but they do not have the time for this. That Uber is coming through. Soldier caught on Toxic. Taro will fall. Sticky's going toward the left side to prevent the NG from doing anything. 2 players down for the side of team number 1. A lot of cap time here, and not a lot of players to defend it. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheesy Bread are your Newbie Cup champions as they walk away with a playoff sweep. 5-0 on Process. 3-2 on Sunshine in a battle for the ages. All thanks, well, I guess not all thanks, but very, very much a collapse after that accidental Uber. Cheesy Bread has been inserted, and they will walk away as first place winners. Team number 1 demoted to team number 2. And of course, we gotta look at the logs for this one. It'd be criminal if we didn't look at the logs for this one. On Sunshine here, filtered by DPM, Haas, I think as none of us are surprised to see, holy, 100... Oh my god. 115 DPM higher than the next highest. Haas is sitting at 337 DPM. The next closest, King Rat, is at 222. I mean, this isn't even a competition here. 20 kills. Granted, Beaches does have 27, almost dropped a 30 bomb in a losing game here. By no means was this match a roll in any capacity. By no means. This is the closest match, I think, of this entire Newbie Cup. But, I mean, it's just... I mean, even Holden had less heals than Cheese Stick. Admittedly, there was less damage coming through, but it's just... I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of at a loss for words here because that accidental use is still just shocking to me. If that accidental use didn't come through, it'd still be 2-1 right now, or maybe it'd be 2-2. And we would be currently watching the final round. But as fate would have it, that is not the way the game is meant to play out, I suppose. And Cheesy Bread will walk away as the Newbie Cup 12 champions. And I mean, just well played. And, of course, team number 1 played very well as well. I mean, they earned their spot in the grand finals. It's very obviously shown that they made their spot in here. They almost won. They just couldn't find their footing here on Sunshine. Had a lead for a while, lost it, regained, lost it due to a mishap, and couldn't claw their way back. But that will be it from us tonight. I have been Eki with Resin on production. Congratulations to Insert Cheesy Bread and team number 1 for getting first and second, respectively. It has been fun. Subscribe to the Fireside OnlyFans user Twitch Prime. Check out the merch. And we will see you next cast.